Jarrett Banks of Tech Edge, happy to be here at Pax8 Beyond. I've got two co-founders. I've got Ryan Walsh of Pax8, and I've got Nyssa Waters of Possibl AI. Welcome to the program.
Yay, so excited to be here.
Thank you so much.
Ryan, let's start with you. You're a co-founder. What is genuinely different about this moment compared to other previous shifts that you've seen in your career?
Yeah, you know, this is a question that's personal to me, because when we started Pax8, one of the disruptive technologies that we came into the business to deal with was a cloud opportunity. Mm-hmm. You know, moving from software or on-premise technology, moving it to the cloud, and how do you actually bring that to market with a community that is the last mile to the small business. This one's different because in the past, with a technology-oriented community, it was about the tool or the product. This has changed. This is about the work now. Mm-hmm. And now, it wasn't that conversation wasn't one that we were having, what can you do with the tool to solve the business problem? But I've never seen a shift this strong onto the outcome. Like it's changed the narrative, it's changed the way businesses should rethink themselves in terms of the operating model. I know that's something that Nyssa has, locked in on as well, because we've had conversations about this, but that's what I would say to that. It's now so much more about the work. We're almost not worrying about the elements of the technology, given the power of this tool.
I think to kind of add to that, to touch on it, is previously the technology only really touched the technology team, so the MSPs were really kind of working with those guys, right. Whereas this technology touches every user, and it can almost improve every function. So you've got a different realm of customer at the end of the day.
But it does come with a challenge because of that.
Yeah.
It's like the language has to change. Mm. Like if somebody was comfortable with the tech, was talking to another technical person, that meant something, you know, and you could just trust me, it'll work. You can't do that now.
I've got a really good example of that. My CTO, I've had to really help him get his head around how to talk to CFOs, CEOs, and CMOs because of that particular language gap. He sent out what I would say, kind of a loose proposal recently, and I was like, you cannot send that out. They don't know what all of this architecture language is. They don't understand security language. Yeah. You've got to change the language.
And Nyssa, tell us a little bit about Possibl AI and what made you decide to lean into Pax8's managed intelligence provider model.
Yeah, sure. So I guess how this all kind of came about was I was working as head of financial services for Google Cloud, and I met with so many CTOs that were just getting into AI. So this was about 3 years ago, and they were so confused about what to do. Every vendor was selling them just anything out there, right? Mm-hmm. So we set out to become an agnostic services and consulting company. And I guess from our perspective, Possibl does really look at it from an agnostic lens. We look at outcomes. It's all about the outcomes and the possibilities to reach those outcomes. Almost anything. It's infinite possibilities with AI. So it's for me, and why I started leaning into Pax8, when you're a new business, when you're just starting out, it's really hard to work out who to partner with and how. And Pax8 just really enabled us that ability to ramp so much quicker than we would have done on our own. The connections, the advice, the strategy, everything you're doing to help has just been able to, or enable us to grow just so much faster. So we've grown from 100K to 5 million in a year. So it's been a huge process supported by Pax8.
That is impressive. Now, I'm sure you heard the CEO Scott's speech about customer zero to customer one, transforming your own business before you can transform your clients. What does operational transformation actually look like to you?
It's really funny because it changes all the time, right? So over the last sort of 12 months, using AI in our business is probably different from everyone else's business, because people were just getting their heads around this chat-based communication. But now it's completely different. It's completely looking at workflows, it's looking at processes, and unfortunately what people tend to do is they will actually start putting little band-aids. They'll go, I'll improve this process here, I'll improve this process here. But you really need to look at it a little bit more holistically, and like this is a real old school, so you'll probably know this, the need behind the need.
Old?
No. Hey, I'm not, no.
You looked at me like, you probably know that. They used to say this in the 20s.
No, it was my
I'm kidding.
fundamental training in sales, right? And I'm a sales girl, I'm an enterprise sales girl. The need behind the need, right? And it rings true more so than anything in this space, right? If you've got all of these different SaaS applications that you've got subscriptions to, now you can have one tool and build those subscriptions, right? Or do you even need, why do I need a CRM? Do I just need the customer's data and it to be displayed to me in certain ways? So the entire way that you're actually thinking through problem solving has completely transformed. So from my perspective, going from customer zero, I think we kind of started as customer zero.
Yeah.
And then we help customers, I wouldn't even say, we're trying to help customers grow their business with AI.
Right.
And really lean into that. So I don't want customers saving money. I want them making money. And that's sort of my way of looking at things.
Well, and you can tell that she clearly represents what I think the future is, with a different way of thinking about it, right? The challenge of what you just said, to get behind the need is really the core. Like, what are you trying to do? And just to listen to your response, it's like, I think for some who didn't understand the power of the tool or the technology, it might take some experience, but my sense with Nyssa and her firm is that they're already there because they had the capability, so they talk differently. And you can tell that they're already there.
Right.
So, and so it's refreshing to hear her describe it the way she does, because I think that is what future conversations are all about. And I can tell you that here, in terms of this community, so many partners are saying, help me change the conversation with my customer. How do I do that? She just gave an answer.
But this is really interesting. I was thinking about this when I saw some of these questions, that at the moment they're really scared that seats are going to change, right? People are going to lose jobs, which means seats are going to change, so costs are going to start going down and your revenue is going to start going down. But if you actually lean into it, if you lean into helping support your customers grow, seats actually go up. And you've got a whole lot of different revenue streams that you can start to look at, right? So setting up agents, security, scaffolding, these things need to be done right, and the customer's going to do it with or without you.
I want to put a spotlight on that.
Yeah.
Because one of the different change of mindset that is in her comment is that instead of, and I think this is a shift that this community is responding to actually quite well, which is, instead of just assuming, I'm just going to cut costs, I'm going to take out headcount, I'm going to go after your job, the ones that are thriving are just thinking differently. They're saying, how do I grow 30% with headcount growth of 5? Right? It used to be linear, more heads, more people, more revenue. Now we've changed the equation, and now I can think about what she said differently. I can, it's not about reduction, it's actually value multiplier. I'm taking what I could do with, and I heard this from a partner, I have grown 60% with the same resources I had. That's what she said.
So I've got a customer, this is a really good example of it, and they're a relatively new customer, but they came to us with a goal. We want to double our revenue in the next 12 months without hiring a single person. So
this is it.
And that was their goal, and we've already started getting on with it, and the CEO is putting pressure for us to go faster. So that's a really, really exciting goal. And I also think most of our customers, so the end customers, the SMBs, right, smaller businesses, you're generally dealing with decision makers and owners, right? In the last 30 years, we've gone from one person working in a family to 2 people working in a family, right? So we've actually doubled our workload in 30 years. Nobody's talking about that. So if we can actually take away some of the workload, maybe we can get back to actually having holidays, spending time with our kids. Maybe divorce rates will go down. Maybe this is the actual opportunity for us to restore ourselves to humanity. So I kind of look at it going,
I love that.
Why? Why don't we take this opportunity? Make more money and have more time.
Yeah, and that changes the narrative about what are you afraid of.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be cautious about the security threats
Absolutely.
and the governing. And I think that those that understand the technology know that has to be a part of the service, the delivery, the things you address, so that you can then get what you're talking about, which is we're unleashing things.
Yeah.
We're not cutting and removing jobs and then we don't know what to do with ourselves. We're actually taking the small business and allow them to punch above their weight.
You know what, if the MSPs don't help their customers on their journey, these customers are likely to die.
Yeah.
Like, to be perfectly honest. What role out there can't benefit from AI? And honestly, it doesn't exist. Every single role I could think of a reason why you at least need one license for AI.
Right.
And you just sit there and go, okay, so everyone can benefit from it. If you don't have an MSP that is helping the customer guide, their competitors are going to eat them up for breakfast, and that customer won't exist.
Well, this is why I don't think they will die, because what we see is adoption growing as it is with small businesses is showing that it's got their attention and it has a competitive edge in it. A value prop of a competitive edge. The challenge is, without guidance, a trusted advisor that knows how to secure and govern that, unleash it, you're running around with scissors, and that's not good. So we can see the signal is like, okay, it's good, they're going after it, but they don't know, where the guardrails are.
My co-founder says, this open claw thing is actually going to start a war, right? Like, you could see somebody in a very high-powered role putting that on some sort of machine at some point, and if it isn't secured, it's going to cause some problems. So we really need to be helping those customers. And this is one of the first technologies that's actually being consumer-led, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's not being led by IT to go, hey, use this technology.
Right.
Like, remember when Teams first came out?
Yeah.
And we did these big deployment campaigns of Microsoft Teams and rolling it out, or Salesforce, same sort of thing. This is the consumer pushing into us. So that's really, and actually a lot of the IT departments in the bigger customers are pushing back because they don't know what to do, and they're not as skilled as their customers are.
Absolutely.
Strange.
True. Yeah, absolutely true.
Well, this has been fantastic. This could go on for hours. I really enjoyed talking to both of you. We're going to leave it there. This has been Ryan Walsh of Pax8 and Nyssa Waters of Possibl AI. I'm Jarrett Banks, signing off from Salt Lake City.